What is up, my butter biscuits? So in today's video, I look extra busted, obviously, but as you guys can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be doing a review of the brand new Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This one I'm actually really excited for because just in case you guys did not know this about me, powder forms of foundation are literally my favorite. I love the convenience of them. I feel like it's just really quick and easy to add a little bit of coverage. I know not a lot of people really like them because they do prefer their creams or their liquids. However, for me, for example, like my face is so red, I'm sure you guys can't really tell that much on camera because of all these lights. However, in person, picture this like ×2, you know what I'm saying? The lights do wash it out, but I'm super red. So whenever I go to like the grocery store or to any types of stores, or just if I'm going to be running out in public, I cannot stand my redness. My redness is just so much, and especially if I'm like walking around, and especially wearing the mask recently, I get a little bit more hot, so then I get even more red. So I just feel the need to throw on a little bit of a powder form of foundation just because it's super quick and easy. However, before we go into this review, I just want to say right off the bat, my expectations are going to be super high, but that's just because I absolutely love the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder, y'all. That powder form of foundation is so absolutely amazing. I haven't tried anything as bomb as it. For the longest period of time, MAC Studio Fix powder form of foundation was literally my go-to. However, as soon as I tried the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, which was like a year and a half ago, I have been hooked ever since then. I did a video last year of my favorite products, and that was like number 3 on the list. It's just something that I need with me everywhere that I go, even if I'm just gonna go on like a little overnight, you know, stay at a friend's house or something like that. I need that with me. Absolutely love it. So I'm really excited for this. However, like I said, my expectations are high, but we're gonna go ahead and put this to the test, and this is pretty pricey, so my expectations are even more high. But before we get into this review, I also want to let you guys know my skincare concerns. My redness is literally one of my biggest problems. You guys know this if you guys have watched my foundation reviews before. If it doesn't cover my redness or it gets weird on my redness, then I'm not going to like it, because that's the main reason why I even wear a complexion product, you know what I mean? And then another thing too is used to be my concha forehead. Like literally, I used to have so many wrinkles on my forehead, but recently, about 3 months ago, I did get Dysport, and that actually helped me so much, and it's still currently helping me. For some reason, I don't know why, but Dysport has helped me so much more than Botox. I've tried Botox 2 times before, and it just didn't do anything for me. However, the Dysport is bomb, y'all. So those are my skincare concerns before we get into that. I do also have wrinkles underneath my eyes, so that way you guys know what to look out within this video. So anyways, if you guys are interested in my review of the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. If y'all are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you get notified when I upload a new video. Make sure I'll give this video a big thumbs up if you like my reviews. I would really appreciate that, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, and to give you guys more details before we get into the application part of this review, this retails for $36, which I feel like is pretty darn pricey, especially because there is no discounts on it. The Makeup Forever, I believe, is around the same price. Actually, you know what? It may be $38. However, I always shout out Namies because I love Namies so much. They do give a pro discount if you are a makeup artist or have any type of makeup credentials, and you get 30% off on top of that. So it really helps out. So yes, I know technically that the Makeup Forever is more expensive, but I get a discount on it. So I feel like in my head, it's like way better. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so this has 0.32 ounces. So it is fairly little. Like that's just a little bit of product right there, especially retailing for $36. This actually has 50 shades, which I feel like is completely amazing, especially to come out with right off the bat. That is just so bomb. That's a whole lot of shades. I absolutely love it, especially y'all already know Fenty has so much inclusivity, and I feel like that's just so awesome. So the shade that I'm going to be using today is in the shade 230. So this is what it says on the back of the package. It says medium to full coverage for all light, or for all, for all light as air, flawless filter effect. So I did not know that this was going to be full coverage as well too. For some reason, I thought it was going to be kind of like a, you know, like soft coverage, but now that it says full coverage, my expectations just went up, y'all, because let me tell you, I've shown you guys before on my live videos, whenever I put on the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, oh, I could literally put that on and pack it on, and it literally looks like a full-on foundation. It gives me so much coverage with no concealer, no foundation underneath, or liquid foundation or cream foundation underneath. So we're gonna see about that. And I do want to note that I'm not going to spot conceal within this video because I do want to test the coverage of this, so you guys can see where I have little freckles and, like, you know, my little mole and stuff like that. I'm not going to spot conceal. So anyways, this is what it says on the Sephora website. Once again, I forgot to mention too, with the shade 230, it does have a neutral undertone. And y'all, this is another complaint that I have within foundations. It is so difficult to find a neutral tone foundation or concealer or powder foundation. I just feel like everything on me specifically ends up pulling a little bit too yellow, which in return with my redness turns out orange, or some things will pull a little bit too pink. And I'm like, y'all, if you guys look at my neck, I am just so neutral. Like I have the hardest time with that. So hopefully this does show up neutral. I'm going to go ahead and read this right here from the Sephora website. It says what it is: a light as air powder foundation that gives you light to full coverage with a soft matte finish. The coverage, they list it as medium, even though it just says right there, you know, light to full, but whatever, that's what they put it as. Formulation: pressed powder. It says ingredient callouts: free of parabens, phthalates, I can never say that word. It is also vegan, gluten-free, cruelty-free. Why can I not talk today? I did not even have coffee. Normally, I feel like when I drink coffee, then I can't really talk. However, I did not have coffee today, so why am I, you know? Anyways, it says what else you need to know. This powder delivers a non-cakey blurred finish with no flashback. I will be doing a flashback test with this because I do feel like with powder forms of foundation, Studio Fix being the one, the flashback is severe, y'all. Like, let me tell you, when you cake that on, like pack it on, if you guys want like a super dramatic finish, I have learned my lesson with Studio Fix powder foundation. You will get a flashback, y'all. It is really, really bad. So we're going to test that out. So it says the buildable light to full coverage formula loves to be layered without setting into fine lines or clogging the look of pores. It's also sweat, humidity, and crease resistant, plus has a chic portable compact. So y'all, I'm actually going to be going on a walk tonight too. So we're really going to be putting that on the test because it is the new year, and I told y'all I'm almost 300 pounds. I'm just like, you know what, I gotta start walking every night, you know, at least a couple miles. So we're gonna test that and see how it is, because it does say that it is sweat and humidity resistant and crease resistant. So these are a lot of claims. One thing I want to note about this, I absolutely love the container. However, I did open it up right as soon as I bought it because I did want to look at the shade. This sponge that it comes with, I know a lot of people don't use these. However, I do. I typically love them, especially the one that comes inside of the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder. I love that sponge so much. It literally just gives such a blurred effect to the skin. This feels so cheap. It feels like something from the 99-cent store, and I feel like if you're going to be spending $36 on any type of product, it should have something that's better than this. I don't know if you guys can see right here. It is just so thin, like so thin and flimsy. Even with MAC, the Studio Fix powder foundation, it has way thicker of a sponge, and you could just applicate with it if you want to. This, to me, I'm just like not even going to use. It is just so cheap and so blah. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and prime off of camera so that way I cut off some time. I did already moisturize my skin with the Olay Henriksen Transformative Sheer something or another. That foundation I actually just started using a couple days ago. But I'm going to go ahead and prime with the Too Faced Major Hangover RX. The reason why I'm doing that is because this is hydrating. Typically, I would use the Milk Makeup. What is that one called? Oh my gosh, how did I forget the name? The Hydro Grip. However, I have noticed before when I'm using only powder forms of foundation, it does cling to it and it's very hard to blend out. I like that with a cream foundation or a liquid foundation. So this right here, I absolutely love with any type of, you know, powder forms of foundation. However, I know Too Faced is canceled, but I did get this at TJ Maxx for only $9, and this is the big one right here. So I was like, okay, I have to get it. But anyways, let me go ahead and do that off camera and we'll come back and do the application. Before we get into the application, I want to know if you're wanting a little bit more of a full coverage, use a dense brush. This one right here is the Hank and Henry Nikki brush. I absolutely love this one for stippling on foundations or powder forms of foundation. It gives a really maximum coverage. However, if you want a little bit more of a sheer coverage, then you want something that's going to be like this fluffy. Y'all, my brushes are dirty. I use them on myself, and I know that probably looks very like unhygienic, but it is what it is. I just use them on myself and that's it. So anyways, this is the KVD 20 brush. I absolutely love this brush so much. Normally what I like to do when I'm wearing a powder form of foundation, because it can get a little bit, you know, too matte and a little bit too dry, I love to take the the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish and put it on top, because it does give a skin finish look. And I love to put on my powder form of foundation with this, and then take this brush to put on the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish on top. I'm not going to do that today, only because I want you guys to actually see the foundation for itself and not really get the hint of the skin finish on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, let's go ahead and start off with this. This shade looks very, very light. However, I have found that when it comes to powder forms of foundation, they look light in the pan, but then when you put them on the face, they do come out a little bit more, you know, full coverage. So let's go ahead and check this out right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a generous amount on there because I want to see if it can cover where I had this old acne scar and my mole, because that right there will say a lot about it. Oh yeah, that definitely does come out a little bit more deep. I don't know if you guys can see right there on camera, but it looks really, really light in the pan, and then as soon as you put it on, it comes out more deep. So that's perfect, because honestly, I did the order online pickup thing, and I had saw it. I was like, ugh. So I tried guessing my shade online because their little shade finder was broken. So I was like, okay, let me just scroll through these shades and try to find the right one. And when I picked it up and looked at it, I was like, oh, this is gonna be way too light for me. But I know that they normally come out a little bit darker. So this shade right here, I will say though, right away, it definitely does look neutral. Actually looks really good with my neck. Okay, that makes me pretty excited because finding a neutral powder is just so hard. But I'm going to go ahead and just keep on stippling this in with this brush by Hank and Henry just to try to get a full coverage with it. And let's go ahead and see if it can cover up my redness, which is my main problem area. Okay, so I'm still putting on a little bit more product on my cheek area because some of the redness was still showing through. And on top of that too, I want to see how the product layers, since it does say on the Sephora website that it can go from light to full coverage, which I feel like is pretty rare, you know. However, with a powder form of product, I feel like it's a little bit more easy to play with rather than a liquid or cream. So I feel like that does make sense, but I do want to see if it fully covers that. I want to know, I don't know if you guys can tell, but look at this in the pan. Like, y'all, this just shows you something. Look how light this looks, and then look how it comes out. I actually like the color of it though, because I feel like it matches my neck really, really well. Like, I feel like that is a good match. I know a lot of people like to match the center of their face. However, with me, I like to match my neck because I don't want to look like I'm wearing a mask. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to take this small brush by Hank and Henry. This one is called, oh, it's kind of like, it kind of fell off, but this is what it looks like. Just a little fluffy brush. So basically what I'm going to do is use this as a concealer and take this around my eye area, and we're going to see about that crease resistant because I find that really hard to believe. So as you guys can see, I don't really have too much darkness, so right there on my eye, it should cover up pretty easily. I'm just going to go ahead and pack this on around the eye area. So far though, the coverage is actually really, really pretty, and I do like the finish. I will note though that it does not have as much coverage as the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. I will be comparing it obviously a lot to that because that is my favorite one. So sorry if I reference to that a lot. However, I do feel like it is necessary because that powder is just so bomb. Like, oh, it's absolutely amazing. But I do want to say though, I'm super happy that this is like really neutral, y'all. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. I know things do look a little bit different underneath the light, but this is very, very neutral, and I love it because a lot of things pull so orangey on me or just so pink on me, and this is looking really good. So there you guys can see it right there. That is a huge difference, especially for being a powder form of foundation. This is why I like it. And I did forget to mention, if you guys have severely dry skin, I 100% would not recommend a powder form of foundation. It's just not going to work. Even if it's like something that claims that it's, oh, it's for dry skin, I really have found within my experience and all my years of doing that, it just does not work. I would highly recommend using kind of like a cream or a liquid foundation and then putting like a mineralized skin finish powder on top of that. But doing a straight up powder form of foundation when you have really dry skin, y'all, no matter what, it's going to look bad, even if you use the best primer, the best moisturizer, because if you have that flaky type of skin, it's just going to cling to that. You know what I mean? So anyways, what I'm going to go ahead and do right now that you guys can see the difference between this cheek and that cheek, is I'm going to go ahead and do this one off of camera to save a little bit more time, and then we'll come back and do my forehead. So I got this side all done right here. I want to say the color of this is just so bomb. Like, look at it with my neck. Normally with the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, as much as I love it, I can't find like a perfect shade to match my neck. This one I feel like matches perfectly, but let me just tell y'all, if you have any type of patchy dryness, this will 100% cling to it. I did not know that I have any dryness right here, and I have a patch of dryness that it's just clinging to, and if you look really, really closely, it's probably not going to pick it up on camera, but it just looks really pilly, you know what I'm saying? And it does not look good. So if you have dry skin, do not try this out because it will cling to that. And I want to note that this is actually way more mattifying than the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. I feel like with that one, you would expect it to be like super, super dry because it is super full coverage. However, it's not. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, of course, it is dry because it is a powder form of foundation, but it's not like overly drying. And this one, I feel like is real dry, y'all, like real dry. But it's okay though, because I can just go ahead and spray on some setting spray to bring a little bit of life back into my skin. However, as of right now, I am liking it. Besides this one little patchy area, I was like patching on top or stippling on top of it, and it was like getting worse, and I'm like, ugh, it looks so bad. And I never have noticed that before. I don't understand. Also, another thing I forgot to note is that the pores on my nose, I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but it really did blur those out. Like, it looks like I don't have pores right there. I feel like it looks really good. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, actually I'll do it on this side, is just go ahead and do half of my forehead. The reason why I'm going to do that is because my reviews just are so long, so I want to like cut down on time because y'all, I just take so long. So anyways, I do have acne scars, as you guys can see from right here. These ones, y'all, get on my nerves. They will be there for months. I guess technically it's not a scar. I don't know what you would call it, but basically after I have a pimple, though, that mark stays there for like literally 3 months, but it does go away. So I don't know if it's considered a scar or whatnot, but it does have that pigmentation that is just annoying. But anyways, this actually I feel like covers pretty well, especially with stippling it on. If I were to brush it, obviously that would give a little less coverage. However, I like to stipple it on so that way I get the maximum coverage. But I'm gonna go ahead and just do a kind of like line right down the middle so that way you guys can see the difference of this between my natural forehead and all the color and redness that is up there. But so far I am definitely liking this. The coverage is pretty good. It's definitely buildable. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not as full coverage as the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, but you can definitely build it to the same amount of coverage. So that is the difference right there with my forehead. I absolutely love the color of this. If you guys are super neutral like me, I would highly recommend to check out her shades because they seem to have got it right with the neutralness, and I'm so obsessed with that right now because normally everything just pulls so orangey, oddly so pink. I feel like I've said that so many times within this video, but it's just so exciting to finally find something that's actually really neutral. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is do this side off of camera. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a time check-in because I will be keeping this on for, I want to say maybe like 6 hours, 7 hours, and then I'll do my final check-in, of course. But I like to do a wear test to see how it wears throughout the day, especially being that it says that it is sweat resistant and humidity resistant, and I am going to go for a walk and I want to see if it really puts up to the test. So let me go ahead and do this side and then we'll do a check-in. So I zoomed you guys out and this is what it looks like overall. I know I look super pale. It's because I do need some bronzer and a highlight, which I will throw on, and I will throw on some setting spray as well too. I was going to do that right now, however I don't have any here on my desk, but it is definitely necessary to put on a setting spray. Do not put on a mattifying setting spray because y'all, you're gonna look really dry. But overall, so far I'm really liking this. I feel like the coverage is great. The color is the one thing that I just keep on focusing on so much, is because I'm like, oh my gosh, it actually looks really good with my neck, which is so surprising because it's so difficult for me to find. If y'all watch my foundation reviews, you guys know I'm always complaining about everything just not being neutral enough, and this is definitely it. So I really do hope that it wears really well throughout the day because I will be a huge fan of this. So let me go ahead and tell you guys the time right now. It is currently 5:36. So like I said, I will try to keep this on for about 6 to 7 hours, and then of course I'll do a check-in and stuff like that so that way you guys can see how it is wearing. I will throw on bronzer and a highlight so that way I look a little bit more alive, because I'm looking at the viewfinder and I'm like, I look kind of dead. Like, I need some brows, I need some bronzer, I need some, you know, some oomph, you know? However, I will do a check-in in a few hours and let you know how it's going. All right, y'all, so this is my check-in right here. It's 9:17 right now, so it's almost 4 hours, I think, at this point. So this is what it looks like. I probably look a little bit orangey in this lighting because my room light is orange. And then on top of that, too, I did put on a orangey blush as well as bronzer, but I went on a 2.5-mile walk and it looks pretty good. I'm getting a little bit oily right here, but honestly, it's really not too bad. It's staying pretty matte, especially underneath my eye. I will say it's definitely not crease resistant or crease proof, whatever it claims to be, because there's creases there, which honestly, y'all, that's gonna happen with every single product. I have yet to find a powder or like a liquid to actually do that. I feel like the best thing for that is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Concealer or the Sharp Tarte Shape Tape. Those are like the most like crease proof things that I have used before, but this is definitely creasing. I know you guys can't really tell right here, but I will zoom in when I do my final check-in. Well, you know what though, it'll probably be gone by then. I'm thinking about doing some eyeshadow right now because I'm literally sitting here on the couch so bored. So I'm like, maybe I should do my eyeshadow. I don't know. We'll see, obviously, in the final. But yeah, so far so good. I think it looks really nice. All right, y'all. So I know I look totally different. I got bored and I decided to throw on some makeup because I'm gonna film my anti-haul right now. And I was like, you know what? While I'm just sitting there doing nothing, I might as well throw on a little bit of eyeshadow. So that's why I look totally different. But I did not touch up my skin. I want to let you guys know right now. Sorry, I was looking for my phone. It's currently 11:30. I think I put this on at like 5:30. Was it? So what is that? Like 6 hours by now. One thing I forgot to mention to you guys too, speaking of which, because I did not touch up, never touch up with a powder form of foundation. This is like one of the biggest pet peeves. If y'all have worked at MAC or any type of place that has sold a powder form of foundation, y'all know this is like one of your pet peeves because so many people would be like, oh, I touch up with this powder. This is my touch up powder. And you have to keep in mind that that's layering and layering. This type of powder is not going to be a touch up powder because it is a foundation. So just picture yourself wearing a liquid foundation and then like carrying your liquid foundation with you throughout the day to put more on top of it. It's going to look cakey. It's going to get very, very messy and very heavy. You do not want to do that. So make sure if you guys are wearing this as your powder form of foundation, just leave it to the side and get a different touch up powder. I highly recommend the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I love that one to touch up because it does mattify, but it does have a satinness to the skin and it's a very light coverage powder. It's not a powder form of foundation. So one thing I really want to note, make sure you guys never, ever touch up with a powder form of foundation. So this is the final look right here. Honestly, y'all, I actually really, really like it. I did get a little bit oily on the side of my nose and my forehead, but I feel like overall it looked great. I cannot get over the color. Like the color of this foundation just won me over because I was like, y'all, it matches me so perfectly. I absolutely love this. I will definitely 100% say it is more dry than the Studio Fix powder foundation, and it is more dry than the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder. So do keep that in mind. If you guys have dry skin, I 100% do not recommend this for you. It is not going to be good. It will definitely cling to your dryness and get kind of flaky around there, which is not good. Another thing I do want to note about this is it definitely does not have as much coverage as the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Powder, which is definitely not a problem. However, I'm just going to compare it to that, y'all. You already know that's just my favorite. I absolutely love that. I would definitely, though, say that this is better than MAC Studio Fix powder. I love MAC Studio Fix powder. I always say it just holds a special place in my heart. However, this definitely is better. It does have more coverage. I feel like it definitely stayed better. Like my skin looks really, really good right now. And this is no touch-ups, not even blotting, nothing. But just Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, I think is better than this, definitely. So if you are on the market, I highly do recommend this, but if y'all were to ask me like straight up, okay, which one would you pick? I'm gonna for sure choose the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin. That powder is just, I don't know, it's like magical. It's just so amazing. I wish that Makeup Forever had this shade because y'all, I would be set right here. But this I will definitely recommend. Like I said, I definitely like it. Just don't purchase it if you have dry skin. It is not going to be good whatsoever. So if you guys have this, let me know how you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think about the review and what you guys think about the color, because y'all, I know that I have several conversations with y'all out there who are looking for neutral tone foundations, and this right here just really like shook me. I was like, oh, it's actually neutral. It stayed neutral. It did not oxidize whatsoever, and I don't know, my skin looks really, really good, y'all. So I definitely recommend it. So anyways, I hope you guys like this review. Make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.